All right. Thank you all for joining. And we are assuring you that the conversation today will provide insight, not just insight, provide career defining directions for as many that stay true to the end. And at the end of today's, at the close of this conversation, there is a special gift that there's a special resource material that I personally are going to give out to every individual that stay true to the end of the conversation today. So thank you for being on. And today is going to be a great day. We are good to go. We have all our panelists here on. And for all our panelists, your mic has been allowed. And as the conversation starts, you will help us to unmute your mic so that you can speak and we will be able to hear you clearly. Thank you all for joining. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all live to the episode 4 of our distinguished knowledge sharing series, Publish and Prosper. I want to appreciate everyone that is on this conversation this moment. Thank you all for joining. I welcome you all for today's conversation. And the one thing about academic journey is oftentimes than not, it begins with a dream, and the dream of discovery, the dream of contributing to knowledge, the dream of shaping minds, and perhaps the dream of leaving a lasting legacy in the society. And yet, as many who have walked these paths, they know that academia is very, very demanding, and it requires resilience, discipline, curiosity, and a constant balancing of teaching, research, mentorship, and service to humanity. And today, we want to explore how best should an academic approach this great work, this great community service, teaching, research, and contribution to the community? How best can an academia from onset, and if you are in the middle stage or you are in the senior stage of the career, how best, what should it be, what are the priorities, what are the principles that you should leverage, and what are the destinations you should be moving towards for your career? So today I welcome us all. It is my pleasure that we are on the episode 4 of Publish and Prosper, early career academic, the dream, the demands, and the destination. So in our panel today, we have seasoned academics, and they are going to be sharing from their lived experience with us today, and we bring them from different stages of the academic career. We have an early career academic, the mid career academic, and senior career academic, and that they are going to be letting us understand every stage of the academic career. What are the perspectives that we need to come into every stage, and how should we handle as we progress from stage to stage in the pursuit of a sustained life and a sustained academic career? And our goal today is not only to celebrate the dream or to celebrate the great work that we do in academia, but also to explore the reality, explore the challenges, explore the growth, and explore the destination that defined a meaningful academic career. And for those who are considering academic as a career, we hope that today's discussion will provide clarity and inspiration. And for those who are already on the journey, we hope that it will offer insights, encouragement, direction, and perhaps a renewed sense of purpose as our panels will be sharing their personal stories, failures, and the turning points and defining moments in their own academic career journey. So, I am Dr. Tom Ido, and I'm an academic from Modibo Adama University, Yola. And in today's conversation, we have with us three distinguished panelists, a veteran professor whose work and mentorship have inspired generations of academics and shaped the intellectual culture in our institution. And we have a senior lecturer and an emerging voice in research excellence and mentorship. He represents the passionate academic shaping the next decade of the university landscape. And we also have with us an assistant lecturer who is a vibrant academic, bringing fresh perspectives, modern realities, and the hopes of early career researchers who are navigating the changing, ever changing academic landscape. Now, we are deeply, I must say it, we are deeply grateful to have all of these seasoned academics with us this moment in this conversation. And I must also let you know that they are preparedness for today's conversation is something that I deeply respect. So, as we get into the conversation today, please, we want all our panelists to unmute their mic because we are getting into the conversation proper. And I want us to understand that whether you are an aspiring scholar seeking to get into academic profession, or you are an early career academic who is finding their footing, navigating the ups and downs, the bends of academia, or you are a mid-career academic in quest of recognition, or you are a senior career academic navigating the significance maze, you are in the right space, you are in the right platform today. So I want us all to settle in and let's curate that exact career success we all desire. And on behalf of the Academia Cafe Elites community, I welcome you all to the episode of Publish and Prosper. We talk bold insights. And today we are going to be moving forward and we are going to be getting to know our panelists better. So I will be calling each panelist out. Now I'll be giving them the point. They are going to be introducing themselves, telling us their names, academic field and institution, and also tell us what inspired them to join academia, and also share with us one reality about academia that shocked them. So each panelist have 2 minutes to do that, and I encourage that they can share this in form of story with us so that we can relate with that. So I would like to start with Mrs. F.M. Adebimpe. Tell us your name, academic field, institution, what inspired you to join academia, and one reality about academia that shocked you. So over to you, Mrs. F.M. Adebimpe.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Mrs.
It's a
Adebimpe.
pleasure being here today. Thank God for being here today. Okay,
Thank
I
you.
am Adebimpe Olashade Maria. I am an early career academic working with Ladoke Akitola University of Technology, Lautech, Ogbomosho. I'm in the field of social sciences, specifically home science and management, and my area is human development and family studies. I guess I'm into academics today because of my curiosity. Yes, if I'll say that. Because I've taught in almost all levels of education, nursery, primary, secondary, and now in higher institution. So I guess my curiosity in wanting to help people, wanting to know why people are doing things, and wanting to intervene has led me to where I am today. I keep on wanting to find solutions with my students that I teach. Why are they having difficulties with one issue or the other? Wanting to help families and things like that. So I guess that has helped me to where I am today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adebimpe. And Dr. Dan Oyobo, please over to you. You are going to tell us your name, academic field, institution, what inspired you to join academia, and one reality about academia that shocked you. Over to
Thank
you,
you very
Dr.
much.
Dan.
My name is Dr. Dan Oyobo. I'm an agricultural economics, a senior lecturer with Denis Osadebe University, Asaba, one of the Delta State universities. My area of specialty is resource and environmental economics. What actually inspired me to academia is that my father was my headmaster. So my early attraction to teaching and academia came almost naturally. From a young age, he really helped me to understand that education was not merely about reading or writing or any certificate. It was a powerful tool that could break the chain of poverty, ignorance, and limitation. So as I grew older, I came to realize that education was even more deeper than I had first imagined. So that was actually the gateway into a future-driven knowledge, idea, innovation, and meaningful contribution to the society. And again, this conviction became even stronger when my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, who never went to school, I had never had the opportunity of getting to the four walls of formal education, once told me that her greatest regret was not to have gone to school. So her words left a lasting impression in me. That reminded me that education is not only a privilege, but also a life transforming opportunity. One reality about education, I really would not want to describe it as shock because those of us in academia are not primarily driven by money, but by passion, purpose, and desire, and to make meaningful contribution to society. However, we must also admit that money remains an important variable in the overall equation of academic life. So I'm saying all this because education falls within the social responsibility framework of every nation's budget. This means that it is the ultimate goal of academia is not directly as revenue generation, but as a development of human capital, which we are already doing. Therefore, an academic staff member should not be viewed in the same way as every other category of staff whose performance may be measured by financial target or revenue generated. These are just some of my reality. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Dan. Thank you. And Professor Ilesomin, please, over to you. You are going to share with us your name, academic field, institution, what inspired you to join academia, and one reality about academia that shocked you. Over to you, sir.
I'm glad to be here, and I have listened to my two friends who had reasons for coming into the academic and have shared those reasons with us. My own story is a little different, and I would like to share it in a very interesting manner. Number one, I I really didn't come through the maybe what you can call the normal system of coming into the academic system in Nigeria. Originally, from the secondary school, I had the interest of being a teacher, but because in our village, some of the highest professionals you can see are teachers, and we are all interested in imitating them. So I wanted to be a teacher. When one of my Indian teachers in the secondary school wanted me to go to India to study medicine and obtain the form for me, I really didn't like it. In fact, I didn't send back the form, but I cherished the envelope that they use in sending the application form, because it has an inscription on Indian government service, and I kept it for a very long time. It can be very interesting to see some small things attracting somebody. So I left there, and incidentally, I went to the Polytechnic to become a professional, read architecture there, and then uh, went in for NYSC. Incidentally, at the NYSC level, they asked me to come into the university environment and come and be serving. That was what exposed me to the academic environment. And at the end of the day, I had to love it, and then went in to study education to see whether that can provide a way into the academic fields that could make me to be a teacher in the university, and terminated that one as the postgraduate diploma level, and then went in for a postgraduate diploma in urban and regional planning, and a master's degree in urban and regional planning, and a PhD in urban and regional planning before I could properly fit into the academic world. So it was, maybe I would say that I came into teaching in the afternoon, if you understand what that one means. And that's just the story. So we will hear all the other stories as we go on.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, thank you all our panelists. What they have shared already has brought us some level of inspiration and encouragement. Thank you all for being here. Now we are getting into the conversation proper, and we are starting with the session, the dream, where we get to look at what the vision should be and what the belief should be, what are the right approach and what are the right perspectives that we might need to develop as academic professional. So we like to first of all go to Mrs. Adebimpe, and I think because of our time, I would like to kind of combine two questions for you at a go. So I want to ask, what initial expectations did you have about academia? And the second part of that is, were any of those expectations being met so far? So, Mrs. Adebimpe, please let us hear from you. What are your initial expectations, and how have those expectations been met?
Actually, coming into academia, I used to think lecturers have loads of time, that they have time for themselves. Is it not just to come to class and they go, they come in when they have lectures and they go anytime they feel like, but really, in reality, that's not it. If you don't see a lecturer, it's either he or she is doing one thing or the other. As regards academics, either in school or outside school, you carry the work everywhere. So I was I was baffled to see that it's something that it's like a way of life. You just have to move with it. You think about it, you do it. It's a continuous thing that as time goes, or sometimes you be like myself, that I'm an early career person. It's like sometimes I'll be like, am I sure I can fit into this thing? This thing is more like it's draining me. But I now realize that if you ask the right questions, you see people that will respond, and with that, you you tend to have a mentor or mentors. Then with that, you collaborate and there'll be progress with time. So you get your footing. So the expectation was like, I'll have time. I can travel. I can do this. But along the line, I see it is handful that you just have to really be determined and focused to ensure that you balance yourself and the academics as it goes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Your home view also want to be similar to my home view. Also, I realized that the time is not there. So, building up on that, we want to ask Dr. Oyobo, how has your view about academia changed compared to when you first started, Dr. Oyobo?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me just leverage on what my first colleague has spoken. When I was coming to academics, of a truth, I never really believed that the workload in that sector was that much. Because for me, although I was in the industry for 23 years, so after the PhD, I had to now come into academics fully with the aim of giving back to the society. It's especially in the area of mentorship, in the area of teaching, in the area of research. And I bet you, since I came in, some of the things that I have actually seen um, are a little bit different, but anyhow, we're finding a way around it. Some of those challenges that we're finding a way around is quite enormous workload, um, the pressure to publish. I'm actually very excited when I saw the topic, publish and prosper, bold insight. What we are actually used to is publish or perish. Aha. But all that now is changing. So with all those challenges, we are being able to see how we find a way around it. Now, some of the students are getting better. We are doing well in the area of collaboration with some authors. We are doing well in the area of how we can improve grants. So those are some of the dynamics with which we are getting along with some of the initial challenges that we saw. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Oyobo. Thank you very much. Thank you for the progress, and thank you for people like you in academia that see things differently because of where you are coming from. Coming in from industry, I know there are some experience from there that you are also bringing in into academia to help us have some level of awareness that can expand our belief set and horizon around what we do. And I like the way the conversation is building up. And for that, we have to make a little shift to the question I want to ask Prof. So, Prof, looking back over your career, I want to know what inspiration, now looking at the inspiration that has brought you or inspiration you caught while you joined academia initially. See, I want to see if you can now enlighten us on what has actually kept you based on what you have gone through from since you joined all to this moment.
Will you come back once again so that I can be able to answer specifically?
Okay, Prof. Sir, what I'm asking is from the moment you joined academia and you came in, you have an inspiration, and you came in, you see that there are some things that are changed, that are different from this perspective you came in with. So I want you to share with us what has kept you going. Okay, okay.
Uh, Before I joined the academic, I had some kind of things about people who work in the university. In fact, they used to use the word ivory tower much more at that time than now. I don't know why the word has actually faded and we don't hear about ivory tower again. I was talking about ivory tower. That was my perception about the university system. I listened to BBC London for a long time and I saw that if they want to find a solution to a problem in the society, they will bring a professor, an expert, somebody who is from one of the universities, somebody who is knowledgeable in that area. And I felt, oh, these are the people that matter in the society and things like that. And I see things being done that way. I've also seen very many people in positions of responsibility, ministers and director generals. They call them maybe doctors, professors, and I knew that they were taken from the academy to help bring solution to problems. Of late, I have found out that as if our system in the at the national level does not really buy that kind of idea. In fact, we can go and get the worst of all of us to be the leader of all of us all together, and it makes me sad to see that in the society that we are in, the best that we have, who should have been able to maybe be the pilot of our aircrafts, they are actually sitting at the passengers level and they don't have any contribution. And many of the times, even within the university system, you have people who have some ideas as to how things should move forward. Some of these ideas, they bring them up when the opportunity is there, but they are thrown into the dustbin. So these have been some of the idea that I have about the system that has actually weary me within this year that I've been there. I wish we could get things done better. Maybe I can give one more point and then allow the discussion to go. I felt that it is possible to be able to do what we used to call peer review system in our universities, where you could see something that a university is doing better than your own university and you can copy it, and you can also divulge to them some of the inroads you are making in certain areas and they could also learn from you. But I am not seeing those things happening, so they are making me to feel that we are really not getting the best we should get in the university system. And at this point I felt that except something begins to happen, we will just see ourselves derailing and going back and not being able to add to society. Maybe I should stop there in case the discussion goes along that line again. I'm coming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you for that contribution. And thank you for what you have shared from your experience. And I believe the early career, the mid career, and even the senior career academics that are in the room are also having insight from what our panelists are sharing. So we are going to proceed further to the demands. This is where we are going to be looking at what are the realities and what are the prayers. There's one thing to say, this is what I want this to be, but what is the reality saying, and what should the reality be like? And let's look at it from this perspective. Dr. Dan, I want you to please tell us those mistakes you have walked through that stage. I want you to please tell us mistakes early career academics often repeat, not because they want to, but maybe they don't know. So what mistakes? You have mentored a lot of early career since you have been in academia, and I want us what you have seen, the pattern you have seen. What mistake do you see them often repeating unknowingly? Dr. Dan.
Yeah, thank you very much. The let me put it this way. some of the early careers that are coming, they are still a product from the society. It's very difficult, but I have to say it here. Some of the persons, the younger lecturers that come into the university today, um, if they do not get any job outside, maybe in the industry or in business, most of the parents will just say, why don't you just go and get your master's? And with the master's, you come into academics. By the time they now come, they are still feeling that, oh, what I couldn't really get in the industry or I couldn't really get in business, I should get it here. So some of them are really involved in shady practices, maybe in terms of extorting money from students, maybe in terms of doing all those, so a lot of unethical things. But we always warn them that if you want to grow in this system, the principal thing you must hold on to. The principal value you must hold on to is value. It's integrity. Sorry, it's integrity. So we try as much as possible to mentor them to have integrity so that they can go far. But one other issue I really want to bring in here is on the side of the student. Most of the students nowadays, they really do not have the willingness to learn to learn because we are moving into we're already in the knowledge-based world. But some of the students that come into the university today, they really do not want to learn. Again, it's maybe the pressure from the parents. Oh, you must have a certificate so that you can be useful. So they come into the university system unprepared for what they 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 are expected to see. And by the time they come in, some of them, because they probably have bribed their way through secondary school, they still feel that they can probably see by their way through the university to get a degree. So they are involved in shady deals, they are involved in exam practices, they are involved in all manners of unethical things, even as students. So those are some of the realities that we're actually facing at the moment. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And okay, let me get to Mrs. Adebimpe. So, Mrs. Adebimpe, I would like to say that on this conversation today, you represent the early career academics. So I want to ask, because Dr. Dan have shared some things that are like pattern when it comes to the early career academics, and that even the student, the crop of students that we are having these days are not actually helping the situation. Now, as early career academic, Mr. Adebimpe, what are the prayers that you feel that the system can find a way to come in and take off the shoulders of early career, that these are pressures that are kind of draining early career, or that kind of making early career feel that are they even relevant in academia, that if this prayer can be taken away or the system can find a way of addressing these prayers, then life will be much easier for early career academics. Mr. Adibimpe,
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
you're
Well, I
welcome.
will I will begin with the aspect of being employed as an individual. Let's take for instance for an industry. If you are being employed, you will be trained. There's something called training for you to be absorbed, for you to know the system very well. Then after some time, you get your footing. But that is not the case with academics. It's like once you are employed, there's this assumption that you are independent. There's no time to grow than being independent. That's from my own perspective. Prof was saying that he joined in the afternoon. On my own aspect, I would say I joined in the evening. I was coming from the industry and getting there I was a bit confused in some instance. I was like, come, how is this thing done? Come, oh, can someone explain this thing to me? I was possibly because of my curiosity background. I tend to ask questions, tend to get information and things like that. And I see that academics is something that if you are there, you just have to build the interest to stay. If not, you have issues. You have a lot of challenges. While I was in school, I would say it was only very few lecturers that were staying mentors. Some were not even ready. They were not really available. That's not the kind of lecturer I want to be. Only very few, and the very few were very, very good at what they were doing. But we have some that they were just leaving the students wallowing, a student coming from one department, going to other departments to ask questions because there was nobody readily available. It's not in all cases that we have early career academics not wanting to learn. But when there's nobody to even give you the information you require, they want you to be dependent before you even knowing what to do. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So what I'm saying is that it's not in all cases that it's like that. Yes, we have people that actually, because of one way or the other, they find themselves in academics, but it's not in all cases. We have people that are there, they want to be there, but they are not just finding people to assist. And academic is somewhere that you see like everybody is just closing their eyes, and you see that you are seeing yourself alone. If not that you really want to be there, to have that resilience to be there, you end up just crashing. So I want to employ us that are senior lecturers and the rest of it to know that it's not all the early career academics that are not willing to learn. Are we being provided the means? Are we being exposed to what we need to know? So I think that is my own aspect as being.
Wow. Thank you, Mrs. Adebimpe. One thing, like I used to share in our scholars communities, one thing I personally also I came from industry. I work with two different industries before I joined academia, and I discovered that in industries, when it's come to a new staff coming in, they don't joke with the orientation. They don't joke with bringing the staff into the system to learning. But one thing I've discovered is that is lacking in academia, and is even bringing a whole deal of prayers on early career. Even not only early career, no matter the level you join, you discover that you find that missing. So you are like in a maze, nobody to show you the way, and you have to find the way yourself. And in such situation, you build perspective anyhow. So the perspective you are building about the system might be one perspective, and you think is the right perspective. And with that, I want to get to Professor Ilesomi, with what our early career academic has shared, and the mid-career academic has shared. I want you, with your experience, and for the many scholars that you have mentored and have become great both in academia and beyond academia. Now, I want you to share with us, and for the scholars that are on this conversation, from your experience and in this absence of what they are asking for, how were you able to go through, and how will you advise those in the system to also go through this prayer?
I appreciate the point that our colleagues have made on this matter. I will reinforce the fact by saying that in the academic world, we over assume many things in very many of our universities. Number one, we assume that the new entrants into the system, unlike the industries, we assume that they should have known everything You get a graduate assistant employed or an assistant lecturer, and because he's the most junior in the department, you just give him and say, oh, you take over the job of examination officer. What does it mean to be an examination officer? Where did you give him the right orientation? How did you train him on what is required of an examination officer? At what are the expected outcome from him as an examination officer? Sometimes we leave this very important aspect undone, and when he fails, you say, didn't you pass through university? You ought to have known. No, it's a great assumption, and it actually is a wrong assumption. In our university systems, we don't in many cases give correct orientation to our new intakes and tell them the rules and regulations, introduce them to what is done in the university system, how the teacher should work, how the lecturer should work, teacher human relation and things like that. They are not there, and at the end of the day we reprimand them for it, a sin that they committed in error. And I think this is one of the grievous things that we are doing. No training, no retraining, no orientation, and we assume. Let me also talk about this other issue that sometimes we tend to say one kind of proverb, and the proverb is, the reward of good work is more work. I don't know whether they say it in some of the other universities where we are coming from. If a person is available to handle a particular assignment and he did it very well, then you load the person with all the assignments that are available, whereas his other colleagues, who is not ready to do anything to improve the system but only to improve himself, is progressing in his own way. This person, if his paper remains only one, irrespective of his diverse contribution to the system, he will not be promoted. So I feel that sometimes, rather than making this work to be easy for people who are willing to make the system progress, we actually make it cumbersome for them by loading them with additional responsibilities and things like that. And it should not have been so. So the reward of hard work should have been maybe some other kinds of reward. And don't forget what we used to say, that the reward of the teacher is in heaven. And my question, what about the teacher who will not go to heaven? Where will he get his own reward? So that is the food for us, for thought, for all of us as well. Then I also know that we have this syndrome among us, the syndrome of put my name. Many of the people who came in to join the academics, as soon as they come and they begin to see that it is published or perish, then, and they have come to find out that the way some of our maybe older people navigated this, they put my name syndrome. So they quickly join, and they may not have any serious contribution to the system except through the system of put my name. And that is actually a very bad thing in the system. And it should have been able to see how we could be able to get the things done. Maybe I would say one or two other ways, and then we can continue the conversation. There are many of the people who join the system, especially when they just come in, they want to prove that I had a first class in the university, and therefore all these students, they don't know anything. They are all coming from village secondary school and things like that. And they begin to prove Mr. Stuff in the class. And they tell you 100 people sat for this exam last year, only 90 of them, or no, 90 of them are still with you here now. I don't think it's a pride for people in the academic. You are a failure if that is your own kind of way of judging whether you are Mr. Stuff. It means if you teach 100 people, only 10 of them can pass. You don't have any business to be in the university or to be teaching. So many of these people need to go and sit down and do maybe a postgraduate diploma in education and know how to teach. No teaching method, no psychology of education, nothing. And then you come to class, put your hand in the pocket and pour out some things to us and come and make display. I don't think that is correct education, and we should be able to address this particular area in our system. Maybe finally, one of the things that I also feel is very wrong in the way we have been doing things that I've seen over the years is no connection between many of the things that we are teaching together. They are not connected with the industry, neither are they connected with Naira and Kobo. Of what importance is it for a person to come to the university and he cannot convert what he is learning in the university to making money so that he can be able to have food in the table? some of these things we just teach theory. I asked one electrical engineering student one day, so what can you do now? He was telling me I can do calculations and calculations. I said, that is rubbish as far as I'm concerned. Tell me what you can do to be able to improve my life electrically. And he said, no, they are doing calculation. Well, I asked somebody, he said, no, it's through their calculation, they do the theories and then they do all the designs and things like that. Society want the design to be implemented as well. So tell us what you can be able to do. I will sum it up this way. Convert this thing that we are learning to naira and kobo and to be useful in the industry. Let it be that along the line there is a way by which we reward people who have the system in mind, but for the cumbersome assignment we have given them, they may be deficient in some of those other areas that you may be looking for because of the system that they are committed into. Maybe I should stop there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof, for what you have shared, and for the other panelists for what they have shared that also brought us to what Prof have shared. What I can see there is the system needs to have a way of incorporating or integrating what is lacking, like orientation of newly employed staff, and the system should also understand that when you give more to the system also should have a way of giving back more to you. And academics also should understand that academic is to promote humanity, not to destroy humanity. So we as academics, we should operate in that line. These students, they are like children to us. We do call them the future of tomorrow. But when we approach them as if we want to impose, to show them that we are made of stuff, that is not your job description. To show the student you are made of stuff. Your job description is to help open the mind of the student to the reality that can make them build a better future for themselves and for the society. So I think that is what I can bring from what Prof has shared and from the questions and the prayers that the other panelists has also shared. Thank you very much as we progress in the conversation. So the engagement we had under the demands. Now that will take us to the destination, and we are going to be looking at what the direction should look like and how can we make some level of discernment that we make us build a sustainable career. So I would like to start with Mrs. Adebimpe. Now, currently, you just shared with us some of the prayers that early career academics have to endure in the academic ecosystem. My question for you now is, how will you define success? How will you say success should look like the view that the system or we must understand about success? How will you define that view of success?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Going by what Prof has said, among what he said is if an academic lecturer is relevant, at least success should also be viewed, aside from you publishing papers, to the relevance you are creating to the institution and the society as a whole. So it goes beyond your publications and the level you are in. So it should incorporate the relevance you are contributing towards the society and the institution as a whole.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Adebimpe. Now, Dr. Dan, please, what can you say that actually determines academic progressions beyond publications? You realize Paul make us to understand, put me there, put you there, let me be there. Now, beyond publications, with your experience, what can you say determines academic progressions?
Okay, thank you very much. The career in terms of progression in academics, the way it's structured today, um, it's a journey. You start from the graduate assistants, which I think our sister here is. Then you now advance through to assistant lecturer, then to lecturer two, to lecturer one, to senior lecturer, to associate professor, and eventually professor, emeritus professor. In all this, they all depend on your scholarly contribution. Um, you you have to be very committed with your time. You have to be very committed with your consistency. Um, you have to be very committed with your approach to things. And normally, it takes every 3 years. However, like Prof said, academic promotion is not based on length of service alone. It is anchored on three core mandates of the university system, which are basically teaching, research, community service. At every stage, an academic is expected to teach effectively, is expected to mentor students, and the student here, both in terms of the one you teach courses, both in terms of the one you supervise their project, and also the one you equally as a course advisor. You are also expected to produce quality research. And I think that's where Prof was referring to when he said, put my name, put my name, put my name. It's quite sad, Prof. I agree with you because when you look at some scientific papers and somebody who is from a different field, you read through the article, you won't see that person's contribution in that paper. And I think is very sad and it's very common. You must also participate in meaningfully in departmental, faculty, university, and wider community development activity. I just want to point here that research publication remains a major pillar for academic advancement. Um, Scholars are expected to publish in reputable local, national, and international journals, particularly those indexed in recognized databases such as Scopus, Elsevier, and Web of Science. Yet, beyond the number of publications, the emphasis should be on quality. And I think that's where Prof was referring to relevance and impact of the research in society. So the goal is not merely to publish for promotion, but to produce knowledge that solve problems, inform policies, strengthen practice, and contribute to national development. So for many of us in academia, the greatest joy is not only in rising through the ranks, say from assistant lecturer to professor, but in seeing that the success of our graduates, those that we mentor, who are true product of our labor, their achievement is very important. Values, competence, and contribution to society reflects the quality of mentorship and training they receive. In the same way, the recognition of our scholarly work through citation, collaboration, policy influence, and practical application gives meaning to our academic effort. Therefore, a general involving perspective about academic career goes beyond those titles, ranks, and publications. It must embrace the broader responsibility of building people, creating useful knowledge, strengthening community, and contributing to national growth and development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Oyobo. Now, you have made us to realize that the goal of academia is not majorly just to go through the rank.
Not
Is
at
one
all.
of the key goal is also what is our career contributing to the societal development, to the national development,
Absolutely.
and to make humanity better. Thank you for that, because it is even
Absolutely.
part of the mandate, community service. And we don't get to talk about community service in academia. We talk more about publication because the focus is just the rank. And the better you are at community service, even the better, the faster, for me, the faster you can grow, even in rank. And the faster you can get more invitations and get more collaborations to expand your scope and expand your career legacy. So thank you very much, Dr. Dan. And in this last one of the last segment of the conversation, I want to ask Professor Ilesomi. Now, one of the things that one might realize about academia and academic professionals is oftentimes than not, we confuse endurance with direction. So that is one thing that I've realized, that is one of the challenge in academia. We confuse endurance with direction. Now, my question to you, Prof, with your experience is, what is the way out of this situation? That scholars work and work and work and work, and it is too late for scholars to realize that all the works that have been doing towards end, all the hard work towards end, that is confusing endurance with direction. Prof, sir, what will you recommend the way out with your wealth of experience?
Oh, okay. If you can come again, say the question in some few words, and then let me see what you desire an answer to.
Okay, what I desire is scholars are always busy doing work,
Yes,
but only to
yes.
later realize that towards ends is the work that I've always been busy doing. So what is the way
Okay.
out for a scholar to be able to realize from the outset, this is where I'm building towards, this is my destination as I'm starting
Yeah.
today, my
Yes.
destination is this.
Yes. I desire to give an answer that tend to reflect the internal recognition of what the academic is actually supposed to be and supposed to produce right from its own institution. Let me put it with this background. As an architecture student in the Polytechnic in those days, the Polytechnic was to build a faculty of environmental sciences, and they asked the Department of Architecture to produce the architectural plans for that particular building, and we were students
Hmm.
and we were involved in getting those things done. You cannot estimate how it motivated us. Again, the Department of Urban and Regional Planning in the Polytechnic secured a contract to prepare the master plan of another polytechnic somewhere else, and I'm talking about sometimes 1984 or 85, at a cost of 1 million naira. Those students that we used to go to refectories together, and they used to just go and drink tea if there was no ticket. They gave them money out of that one. They became landlords, so to say, while we were more or less like tenants in the school. There was motivation because there was a connection with what they are going to be doing outside till when they are right in that particular while they were in the school, it was connected to the outside world. Can I ask you, in many of our institutions, if we want a particular result in civil engineering, for instance, is it possible for us to consult our civil engineering department and say we want something done, even talk about ordinary building blocks for our construction works that are going on in the university, which can involve our students, and then they can now know exactly what they will be doing when they graduate. Those things are out of the agenda of many of our schools. So because that connection is not there, the vision of what you really will be when you graduate as a student is not there. And at the end of the day, even the academy will begin to feel that even my work is not recognized, even in this Jerusalem where I am. So not to talk about Judea or Samaria. I don't know whether you understand my language. So if you put it that way, it means then that we expect the society to value us, but in our own little empires in our universities, we don't value our different units and professions, which we can also sell to the outside world. That if you need consultancy services in civil engineering, come to our civil engineering department. If you need consultancy services in our business management, come to our business management department. All those kind of things are not there. So these are some of the problems. We actually are living in a dream world in many of our schools, in which case we just tend to think that we are producing theoreticians or theoreticians. People just talk, and there is no connection with what they are supposed to be doing. Look, my own suggestion is this: if we really want the academic to feel fulfilled, then let him be able to get right from his own immediate environment recognition for the things that he can do. We want to solve a problem in microbiology. The first point of call should be our microbiology department, and it is when they need services from outside, that's when that one should do. The state government want to solve a problem on transportation. The transportation department that we have in our university should be able to produce an answer. When this one happens, a sense of fulfillment will be in the academic who is actually in the academic system, and then he will feel I am valued by my society, beginning from where I am working. Maybe this may not be true for many other universities, but from some of the universities that I have seen, I see it very, very true. And I've also seen universities that reward people in various areas. For instance, I just saw it published in the University of Ilorin how they gave a vehicle to the best researcher in that university. I saw a list of awards that FUTA used to give when I went on sabbatical leave in that place. This should be replicated in all the various universities in such a way that we don't only base accomplishment in the university on he met the number of people that should be, he served in 3 or 4 committees, and at the end of the day, he taught all his courses, period. And Dr. Yobo has actually given us all the ideals, but these ideals that we have, they should transcend into recognition within the system. Maybe that's my contribution in that regard. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Thank you, Dr. Dan. Thank you, Mrs. Adebimpe. The conversation has been so powerful, inspiring, and practical. I must say that we have addressed some of the realities that has been most things we don't get to discuss in academia. We have addressed them today. So without taking much of our time, I appreciate all our panelists for the value they have brought into today's conversation. So I want to get to our audience. Let's take few questions from our audience before we wrap it up for today. Okay, Oshikunle is asking, how can we bring these changes to our schools? Dr. Dan, please, can you help us say 1 or 2 things about this question? How can we bring this into our university?
Yes, it's very simple. What is actually needed is the will by
Okay, is Professor Dan on the line?
Yes.
Okay, no, Prof, go ahead. Go ahead, Prof, sir.
Prof, you can go ahead. I would have called you is because
Do I
of,
make my suggestions if Professor Dan is not online?
Yes, you can make your suggestion, Prof.
Yes, Prof, sir, go ahead.
Yes. Number 1 is we can make these changes in our system where possible. I use the word where possible because some of our systems are run like local government headquarters where the person is the chairman and then they don't take advice, they don't take suggestions. In those days, we used to have what we call suggestion boxes. And in those days, it is possible to be able to maybe make your mind known. But sometimes it is not possible to be able to get some of those kind of things done now. But where it is possible, we can make our mind known. And then I also felt that the system has what we call congregation, for instance. Congregation is an assembly where everybody is supposed to be available to be able to work towards the advancement of that university. But I found out that in many cases, it is like a political gathering where we just go there to make a vote who is going to represent us, and after that one, come back next year when their tenure is over. And it is not supposed to be so. Another thing is this: sometimes the system itself should choose the leaders who should lead them. And in doing this, we don't really place before them what we intend to achieve. In my own university, for instance, there was a year I presented to Senate what we desire, that there should be a summit before the appointment of any vice chancellor, where we should be able to say, in the next 5 years, this is where we want to be. But it was struck down in Senate. It was not allowed to see the light of the day on the principle that every aspiring vice chancellor has 1,000 words that is bringing into the system. And for that reason, we who are to be driven in that vehicle, we don't have a say to where we should be going. That is not actually how it is supposed to be. 10 good heads are better than one, and it should be understood that way. I also feel that there should be some basic things that should be in the system, like we mentioned: orientation, retraining of staff, workshops, attendance, and then all these other things that have to do with opportunity to be able to make them know what exactly they should be doing. So once those things are not there, they should we should be able to bring them back, and perhaps we should start it from our departments to the faculty and then to the university system. The one we can do at the department, we do. The one we can do at the faculty level and then the university level. Thank you very much to allow other people to talk.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Dr. Dan. I mean, Dr. Dr. Dan, you were saying something. Can you?
Yes, Prof has actually hit it on the nail. It's all about the will. It's all about the will of the university apparatus to make these things happen. Because the main apparatus in the university is made up of the senate, the congregation, the university management, and probably the student. If they really want to see that all these things are done, they will be done. But Prof just alluded to some of the challenges that we have in the university system. It's quite unfortunate. Some of the older professors see themselves as Lord. That if you are a younger academic, I remember some years back I was a lecturer too at the faculty board meeting. I brought up an issue that was going to be useful. You know, the other professors, they shouted me down and said I should sit down, that why should a younger academics like me be bringing up such idea that do I think that they themselves that have been here all this while, they don't know anything. And that is how the idea died. So is to answer you, if the will of the university apparatus wants to see it done, it can be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly go to this question from Shade. He said, I just finished my PhD and got a job as a research fellow, but as I resumed, I saw everything so unwelcoming. I know I have to do so much on my writing, being in academia, and I've been struggling to get a mentor regarding that. I see that academic writing and publishing are not that impacting, and I am interested in imparting? How may I be encouraged to continue? I left the industry but realized I should have remained there. So, how do we get mentorship and make meaningful impacts society wise, especially those of us in social sciences? Um, okay, Dr. Dan.
Yeah, it's okay. I would rather say let her reach out to me. Although I'm in agricultural economics, I will look for some of these my colleagues in social sciences. To say social sciences, she really did not mention the particular field, so that I can probably link her with any of those ones for mentorship. Let her reach out to me. Oh, political science. Okay, great, 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 great. Let her reach out to me. I
Okay,
have some very
Mrs.
friends who are.
Adebimpe, please, Mr. Adebimpe, you can help us share some light on that. You also came from industry. I've had some engagement with you, and I saw the life you are bringing into academia, and I know that you have a strategy or framework of connecting with mentors. Can you help us say one or two things?
Doctor, sincerely, I've mentioned that there is this struggle, most of us coming from academia. Because I told you that I asked questions. I went back to my schools. I met with my mates as seniors. I talk when I see programs online. I join and things like that. And at the end of the day, I was able to reach out to people that can assist me. That's how far I've been able to go about it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to say something, but Tunde Okeowo, Okewole, please unmute. But let me quickly say something about mentorship. Now, one thing I want us in the academia to understand that mentorship is not a one-way traffic. It is a two-way traffic.
Absolutely.
Mentorship has to be, what are you bringing to the table? What am I contributing to the table? And you know, if I want to go to the one book that I love most, yeah, the Bible, we understand that most often than not is the mentor that pick the mentee. Now, is you mentee, are you positioning yourself to be picked by the mentor? You know, it's so out of place when you follow somebody and say, can you be my mentor? No, if you know what it means to be mentor, you will know that that's not the way to go about it. So it's about what are the values? What are you doing to make somebody recognize you? Now, since we started this Publish and Prosper, I've gotten some scholars even outside the country from Kenya and Rwanda that are now mentee, that I mentor now. But there are things they brought to the table that make me okay. This has a light, and this light should be guided to bright across Africa. So that is a few things I want to say about mentee. How you yourself are positioning yourself. You may need to first of all learn how do I position myself in academia, so for mentee to signal me out. So quickly, Tunde Okewole, can you in just 1 minute unmute and let's have your feedback or question?
Yes, thank you, sir. And I greet all the speakers in the spirit of scholarship. Quickly, I have a comment, especially about what Mrs. Adebimpe said regarding uh, expectation for training, at least to get new intakes on board. I think what I've just discovered about that, especially in our universities, that I think it's a deliberate action on the part of the university system not to organize onboard training or orientation or a kind of induction for new take, because they know, I think I think it is deliberate in the sense at first the senior colleagues would they know information that you need, but they will hold that information to at any time bully you. And I said this because, for instance, even without the training, the university system has a manual, a document that spells how promotion and every other expectation should be met by every lecturer, even also the new intake. So, but universities do not give every new lecturer this book or this document. Yet they have, all the senior colleagues have, all the process professors have, but they invoke this information at any time if they want to bully you. So that is why most of them will hold it, because I don't know why, even if it is one person, I don't know why somebody should not have. Meanwhile, we all pass through, by the time you are going into the system, we pass through the normal protocol where you get the registration done and every other. So at any stage of this process, at least this manual should be printed and they be given freely to everyone, so that every lecturer will know this is what I want and this is how to get what I want in terms of promotion and then any other thing, without relying on anybody or making use of servants to any bully in the system. That is one. I think, and also I want to make comment about Professor regarding what Professor Elisomi said regarding the issue of university being ivory tower, ivory tower that should be contributing immensely to societal development. Yes, that I think now we have derailed. The university system has derailed from that, not necessarily because of the failure on the part of the university system, but from our political system. Let me say our political institution.
Mr. Okewale,
Yes.
please, because of our time, please let us quickly just get to the last round of this conversation. We so much appreciate
Okay.
your contribution. Thank you very much.
All
So,
right. All right.
as we round up, please, I'm going to be starting with Dr. Ayobo. You are going to give us one thing that you wish you knew earlier and one important skill you think every academic must have, and one thing, one reputable action you will love to repeat as an academic. Dr. Dan Oyobo.
Thank you very much. I will be very brief. If
Just
you
one
ask
one
me,
thing.
yes, one thing that I wish I knew earlier is that the knowledge, if the knowledge I have now, if I had it much earlier, I would probably have been working for FAO, IFAD, and African Development Bank. Two, one important skill that are being overlooked or underutilized, if you ask me, I think it's should be the skill of transferring theoretical knowledge to practical knowledge for a better understanding and ease of problem solving. I think this is probably related to what Prof and the other panelists have mentioned. Then three, one thing that I'm glad, if given the opportunity again to repeat, is to take advantage of going for the postgraduate studies, because this has opened my eyes to a vista of knowledge. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mrs. Adebimpe, one wish, one important skill, and one reputable action that you will love to repeat again.
I want to really work on how I'll communicate my research work to make myself visible, and then be able to involve more in community service. So I think that's my one wish, is to improve on my communication of my research work and then repeatedly.
All right. Professor Ilesomi, one wish that you had wished to know earlier, one important skill that you feel that every academic should have, and one action that as an academic you will love to repeat and repeat again.
Okay. One wish, one, one, you call it important
Important
skill.
skill.
Yes, let me start with the important skill and then I will be able to rope the others inside.
Okay.
I went to school to learn both architecture and urban and regional planning when we were using T square, Z square, and what we call bed sheet in analog drawings and things like that. And along the line, the digital dimension came, and we were at the beginning wishing it to the young lecturers, thinking that, well, it's their generation, they are the ones who will actually use these ones. But along the line, we woke up late to discover that it is the language for the new generation and everybody must key in. So if I have gone into it earlier than now, I will have been able to benefit from it much more than I'm benefiting from it right now. And we woke up to it too late. So I wish all my colleagues that we learn under the analog system will quickly respond to the desire of this particular generation. Then I also will say that one reputable act that I actually missed, and I wish we should be able to get into it. Let me just say it in very few words. I was dean of my faculty and I gathered all the students together and I asked them, can we build a what I call a legacy project by your own year before you graduate? And then they agreed with me. Within the time, there was a riot in the school and the students went away. When they were coming back, they asked them to pay some money as damages and things like that. And later I start to gather them again. They told me they will never do anything. They were willing to contribute before, but now they are not going to contribute because what they will have contributed had actually gone through. If we have succeeded, we will have had every year contributing either an amphitheater, a structure, a library, maybe library books and things like that coming into the system. We lost that opportunity because certain things happen within the time when that dream was actually going to come. So if I had an opportunity again, I would want to see this kind of actions repeated or somebody else to be able to do something of that nature. And I wish all academics will also come to know that along the line, this work, it will bring money in itself when you start doing it well. Either your students who have known you before, they will know that there is a work going on somewhere and they will invite you and then you'll be able to get the money rather than looking for the money here and there. Maybe this is the much I can say for now. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to sincerely appreciate our panelists. Thank you, Mrs. Alebimpe. Thank you, Dr. Dan. Thank you, Professor Ilesomin. I can see that you have all brought into today's conversation the reality, the truth, the sincerity, the honesty that it desires. Thank you so much, and thank you for making today a great success. Thank you for speaking, for talking, for sharing from your lived experience without holding back. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank all our audience for their active participation. And also my appreciation also goes to its members for their usual support. What we have heard today should remind us that the academic journey is indeed a blend of dreams, demands, and destinations. So it is a path that requires curiosity, perseverance, mentorship, and a commitment to the pursuit of knowledge. And for those who are just beginning their career in the academia, it is my encouragement for them that they should embrace sincerity, seek mentorship, and learn to ask questions. Learn to ask questions from the right people. And for those of us that are already in the system, we should learn to bring down our guard, be vulnerable in love, to mentor all the early career that are just joining the system. So I want to thank everybody for being here, and also I want to thank the team that make today a success. And I want to appreciate all the people that have made their contribution into today's. And I so much believe that what we have discussed today will help us better in our various institutions and as we go ahead into our various careers. So thank you all for being here, and thank you all to our panelists. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, and we so much appreciate your contribution. So we proceed to the few announcements that we have. Like I said, I promise that you are going to be getting a free resources as a gift for staying in true. Now, if you check my slide, you will see the link to access that, and that link will be dropped in the comment section. You can go to that link. That is the gift. I promise you is a copy of a PDF resource material that will help your academic career to move from where it is to where you want it to be. And for joining us today, I'm also sharing with us that we do have a quarterly mastermind we tag AI Academia Weekend. So if you want to join for the next quarter, please, the link there is the link via which you can join that mastermind. The mastermind is free, but access to the mastermind is controlled. And also the replay of this conversation will be shared, will be uploaded to our official YouTube channel at Academia Cafe YouTube channel. The link also will be shared in the chat room so that you can see other resources in that YouTube on that YouTube channel. And also we are already planning for the next publish and prosper. Please, if you have a topic or an area you want us to explore, please, you can as well DM us on the WhatsApp number on the screen. And before we draw the curtain of the conversation today, please, I have a bonus offer for you. Some have been asking in the chat room, how do we mean about publish and prosper, and how can we publish and prosper in academia? And this is why this bonus is important. And for those that are battling or navigating struggle, this is why this bonus offer is important. Now, yes, before you decide to bail on what I'm about to say, please, I want you to listen to me and be honest with yourself with what I just want to say. If someone in your feed mentions your name today, what specific idea or impact would they associate you with? That's a question you have to think of. If you stopped publishing for the next 3 years, would your existing work still speak and still contribute to the society, or your existing work will feel disconnected? Are your current paper building on each other or reacting to opportunities as they come? In the next 5 to 10 years, will your research form a recognizable contribution or just a longer CV? Do you have a clearly defined research program or just a collection of studies that looked unrelated? Can you confidently explain the central problem your career is solving? Are you positioning your work within global conversation or just within your local academic cycles? If a senior colleague review your work today, would the direction of your work be clear, or they will see drifted work? While others are structuring, just like Prof just mentioned, while others are structuring their careers strategically in the AI era, are you certain that you are not falling behind without realizing it? And here is the thing. If any of these questions made you pause, that pause is exactly why you must not miss this mastery combo, because the question is not whether you are producing research. Every researcher does. The real question is whether you are building a research career that is influential and sustainable and meaningful, especially in the age of artificial intelligence, that everything is evolving at the speed of the light. The combined two powerful mastermind, you have AI driven research identity mastermind, which is a 3-day full practical hands-on mastermind that hands over to you the proven AI informed research strategy to establish your legacy of groundbreaking, globally recognized scientific contribution. And the second one is AI academic career architecture blueprint. Also, a 3-day full practical mastermind that strategically build your academic career for unmistakable global influence in the age of artificial intelligence. Now, today price for this mastermind combo is 60,000 naira. However, this is the formal certificate you will receive at the end of the mastermind, and it is issued by Nurture Essence International, which is a CSU registered and certified organization recognized for equipping professionals with in-demand skills and globally respected credentials. So, as a bonus for you participating in today's conversation, if you make your payment before 6 p.m. May 6th, 2026, that is on Wednesday, you will get the entire combo for just a fraction, 26,875 naira only. And you will get free membership to join the Academia Cafe Elite community. So the payment details are on the slide. Now, if you make your payment through the company account, don't forget to send in your proof of payment, name arrangement for your certificate, and Gmail address to the WhatsApp number on the slide. And the recommended pathway for you to make your payment is the link. Because if you make your payment from the link, you are not going to be stressed. You are going to be redirected to your replay, and access will be given to you straight away. So that is it. The offer lasts till Wednesday, May 6, 2026. And after then, the offer will revert to 60,000 naira. If you are looking for a way to bring sanity, to bring organization into your research career, this combo is what you should go for. So thank you all for your participation. Thank you so much. And until next time, keep publishing, keep prospering, and keep winning. And don't forget to screenshot the payment details and make your payment. Thank you all, and gracias.